This information God want I send to the BC Vancouver government, whoever is in charge for disaster, about earthquakes or whatever acts of God happening. the, God want to I send this information to your government, BC Vancouver. You are in the basically very serious situation to make decision for your city, Mr. Because I understand there is the operation in your city, BC Vancouver, by India culture inside the Canadian Security Service. They doing crime behind your city or behind your people. But God want I sent you is it is your problem. It is your problem. Whatever they do behind your people or behind your city, it is not God problem and it is not my problem. So God wants you understand this culture. India, you gave job inside the Canadian Security Service, will cost your city, BC Vancouver, to be under national emergency evacuation order, as already prophecy has been sent before BC Vancouver.
It's a rainy morning in Vancouver. Across the region, over 2.2 million people are going about their daily routines. Tens of thousands are commuting into downtown Vancouver, over bridges and through tunnels. Some of these people have prepared themselves, their families, and their businesses for an earthquake, but most have not. At 10:07 a.m., the largest earthquake to hit the Vancouver area in modern times begins. Intense shaking lasts for over 30 seconds. Fires ignite across the region as gas lines rupture. 90,000 buildings are damaged.
This information already has been sent, prophecy by the video that has been sent to you. But God wants I fulfill the prophecy before happening. So, according to the information God sent, you are responsible for the India culture inside the Canadian Security Service, finally to remove these people from my case, because God wants you understand these people, they are behind my case, behind the internet, behind my move from Facebook to all over. They will cause serious effect and damage to the BC Vancouver, your government, which is the people can take, never you can fix that again, because God wants you understand this is very serious.
Thursday, October 16th, 2016. It's a spectacular sunny fall morning in southwestern British Columbia. Thousands are on the roadways, commuting, running errands, and traveling to and from within the region. Even more are busy at work or school, managing their daily routines. It's 11 a.m. when the ground starts shaking. The largest earthquake to hit British Columbia in modern times has just begun.
This information has been sent already to your city to know already. This information has been sent to your government. But most important, God wants whoever is by the culture of the India inside your Canadian Security Service and beside your army, I believe God wants you remove these people from my case, from my behind my case. But you have right to give job. They do whatever you are agree. They do to your country and to your city, to your people, whatever. But God wants you understand God is not agree you give job to these people to do crime behind my case, because this is coming from 2020 April serious investigation to the India culture inside the Canadian Security Service from BC Vancouver, going to be on the news to Ottawa to Toronto. And finally they will cast this.
It's part of a pilot project for an
They will cause major falling of the city in BC Vancouver. And this department in Ottawa, Vancouver, God want you understand, they are responsible for giving job to this culture inside the basically Canadian security. I am not talking about specific about India culture, but India culture did most of the crime behind my case from this department security, and Muslim people, Arab from inside this department, and Pakistani, and basically people, and they did finally all that affects my case, my situation, which is all coming to end it to finally to.
You would have found a turbulent and terrifying place. Here in the atmosphere, hurricanes and tornadoes are spawned. Down below is the realm of volcanoes and earthquakes. From last Boxing Day until now, this has been the most disastrous year on record, with hundreds of billions of pounds of losses and more than 500,000. In just 15 minutes, the tsunami waves killed tens of thousands of people in Banda Aceh.
You can see that is you can see that already India, the country, they've been 2 times hit by the major tsunami and floods. So India government is going to be under serious investigation and serious attack to the land of India, and government of India is going to be crushed down for long time for crime of this crime of his culture, costing behind the few country and behind the basically my case in Facebook serious effect, which is the costing million in the India be completely destroyed, to bring government of India on the international news world investigation to the government for crime of the multicultural India culture in what they did so far. So I am bringing this one here. This is the major 45,000 in India been killed after tsunami hits. But I am going to bring it here. I am going to bring it here, Mr. Finally to your country is.
No one will ever take away from the Minister of Defense's actual service record, but people in the military have a name for what he did. It's called stolen valor. When someone takes credit for the brave actions of another, and what he did was wrong. And now he has lost the confidence of our men and women in uniform, and they need to have confidence in their leaders, especially when they're putting their lives on the line. So will the Prime Minister remove the Minister of Defense?
You can see that this man already information has been sent to your country to take serious step for this culture, what they do inside the Canada. So I cannot actually, God wants you understand BC Vancouver and many part in your country. I am not person to pay consequence in because of India culture in Canadian Security Service or department you give job. So God wants you understand, if this culture, you're not taking the job from this culture, consequences can be thousand trillion falling of Canada, and many people going to take their bag and move out from Canada. This is finally, I understand God is in a very serious process to finally basically bring this basically investigation and attack because of India culture in your country you give job. So I want to bring it here. I want to bring it in this part. I understand Jesus sending the serious message to the BC Vancouver by the snow came evacuation in the few times, but today God wants you understand, government of Canada, if you don't remove this culture from my case behind the Facebook and behind the internet, consequences they can bring to the Canada is going to be major falling. I understand this is happening. I understand this is the BC Vancouver, and to my acknowledge what God showed me, I send in this picture as the prophecy coming before happening. So God wants you understand, BC Vancouver government, you are in this serious situation by God's side in space and all the and His angel. If any time this earthquake they hit, consequences can be major falling to your city, which is the people can take not in this time. You cannot fix it in this time. So God sending you because God know there is a few good people exist, as there is a few people in your country exist, as finally I can bring it back to these people here. You have inside your house of the comment, there is these people trying to do job for your country, and they are right.
From the Minister of Defense's actual service record, but people in the military have a name for what he did. It's called stolen valor. When someone takes credit for the brave actions of another, and what he did was wrong. And now he has lost the confidence of our men and women in uniform, and they need to have confidence in their leaders, especially when they're putting their lives on the line. So will the Prime Minister remove the Minister of Defense?
You can see that these people trying to do whatever they can do to do basically God will. It is not her will she trying to do. This is God will. So if your government is not acting soon as possible about, especially about my case and about this culture you give job, is God cannot help these good people you have inside your government office. God cannot even help these people. So God finally bring the acts of God will happen, and finally, and many good people like these people basically must fall because of this culture you give job, Mr.